Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu. A very good evening. Namo Buddhaya. Okay, so tonight we will talk on something very specific, that is highlighting on these 6 suttas. Yeah, and of course, if you're just looking at the mere suttas themselves, it's really boring. Yeah, so I'll be here, to show you some of these. Say, for example, in the old age, illness, and that I will talk more on this because this is the issues that need further discussion. Yeah. And of course, we have to face this. And then another one, the tribulation of unreflective living. So we will highlight on this. So if you look at these suttas, they are not that difficult. Yeah, but anyway, they are worth, to be investigated. And now we look at this. Aging and death. I think these are the very important issues. So here I quote several spiritual wisdom that needed for our contemplation. I think you have heard of Keshri Dhammananda said, I think long ago, he said, is lingering around me, that he said, the life is uncertain, death is certain. Yeah. So then another one, that is on the analysis of that is not for the sake of becoming fearful, but to appreciate this precious lifetime. So also I will highlight on this afterwards. And then there is also another spiritual wisdom that needed our investigation, that can happen at any time. So meditation of death becomes very important. Okay, so we will look at how we practice, how we cultivate, or the meditation on death. And then I think there is also a very well-versed saying of facing death and dying well. Yeah. Then there is another one. There are no methods that will prevent us from dying. Definitely, I'm going to die. That is certain. So understanding of impermanent karma and rebirth are important subjects for our practice. So I will, and of course, these are the suttas will be reflected in the second part of it. You see, the distinction between the wise and the foolish people. You see, then we will look into this. So when we look at the subjects like the death, you see, this topic may be somewhat very discouraging. Yeah, because like us, you see, we try to avoid death. We all scared death, and we don't want to face it. But however, in our Buddhist practice, you see, the view of the end of life, meditation probably can be a very uplifting and about a very powerful practice in our Buddhist cultivation. Yeah, if without death, I think we all don't want to practice Buddhism anyway. Yeah, it is because you see we had to face this death. That's why we come to the Buddhist temple to learn the meditation in order to overcome the fear of death. And of course, looking at this subject, the understanding of death and the dying also will help us, to motivate our spiritual practice. Yeah, this is for sure. Yeah. And of course, someone asked me, why, Bhante, you renounce in your young age? This is the type of question, that people ask very often when I was, renounced in my young age. And I told them very, 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 very categorically, I said, It is because I fear death. You see, so becoming a monk because I want to overcome the death. That's all. I mean, this is my answer. You see, so I hope you can understand what I'm saying here. Yeah? And of course, life is very, very short. We don't know what will happen next tomorrow or after this. So the death can happen at any time. We don't know. So understanding the impermanence of death, you see, then we can live with peace. And of course, with a sense of happiness. And this happiness is the key teachings of the Buddhas. So when we understand, the death, overcoming the death, then we become a happy person. And for us, every day, is a happy day. Okay? So this is how we start off the subject. Now we look at the meditation of death, because we are still in the subject of death. Yeah, and be mindful of that. And there's a words for the meditation of that is on the marana sati. Marana sati. Sati means the recollection on the marana. And the Theravada Buddhism, encourages people, to prepare for death. And this preparation is considered part of our mindful living. Yeah. So, are you ready? I think we all ready, nah? Yeah, because we are good Buddhists. Yeah, and we are very obedient to what Buddha says. So we are prepared. Hey, why you laugh? We are good Buddhists, no? We are prepared, prepared enough to face death. And of course, people who meditate regularly, generally they will have less fear of death, right? And of course, because there is this meditation on death, right? And of course, how to practice this meditation of death, we will look into it afterwards. And of course, through meditation of death, we will develop certain kinds of qualities that will bring balance and equanimity in the face of death. Yeah. So our mind will become more balanced. Yeah, more balanced. In other words, we can see the death more clearly, right? Applying the Buddhist wisdom, everything just come and go. So with the developments of mindfulness, meditators have a deep appreciation of moment-to-moment impermanent. So it will provide the confidence to go along with the letting go process that dying is. So it's very important. Yeah. So if you look at it like this, it means that the Buddhist teaching of impermanent, that is whatever is of the arising, whatever is of the nature of arising, is of the nature of ceasing. So everything that just come and go. If we live in the present moment, understanding the nature of coming and going at every instances, I think we can easily, facing the impermanent, and of course at large, seeing the death, right? So, and of course the best preparation of that is the mindful meditation, right? So when I say the mindful meditation, that is through the anapanasati, right? So when you develop certain concentration in your mind, then once you come up from the meditation, then you can start contemplating the nature, of the impermanent. You see, so if you contemplate yourself, also whatever that is also arising and ceasing at every instances. So then we will find, the equanimity, and balance in the mind. So, and of course, I wish to quote the Thich Nhat Hanh because he is very famous in the contemporary world. I think everybody knows him quite well. And then I like the passage, he used to analyzing the death, right? So here is a passage. So when you look at the cloud, and then later the cloud is not there. But if you look deeply, you can see the cloud in the rain. And that is why it is impossible for a cloud to die. A cloud can become rain or snow or ice, but a cloud cannot become nothing. And there is a transformation, there is continuation, but you cannot say there is death. Because in your mind, to die means you suddenly becomes nothing. From someone, you suddenly becomes no one. So when you can remove this notion, you are free and you have no fear. So we are talking about transformation. It means that when you die, you see, but because of your karma, all right, probably it will take you to another plane of existence. It's just like a continuation of life. So the death is not the end of it. So there is this continuation. You see, so we need not to worry so much, because I think in one of the sutta it also says that, you see, if we cultivate good, the wholesome action, right, probably after our death, we will go to heaven and continue our wholesome fruitions. Yeah. We just only change another body. But be careful, be careful. So we have to be very cautious by using the word consciousness, because in other religion they probably will talk about the soul, right? For the conception of soul, that is of permanent, yeah. But in Buddhism we don't recognize the soul, because everything arises and ceases. You see, nothing will stay alike. So we are talking about the consciousness. You know, this consciousness, you know, they vary, you know, from moment to moment. So you cannot say that this consciousness is the same as the preceding one. Yeah. So of course we are talking about the moment to moment. There is this transformation. There is this transformation. I think this transformation is a very beautiful word. Yeah? Transformation. Yeah. So probably you can go back and think about it. What is this transformation? And Tina also said the Buddha did not die, but again be careful. I'm not talking about the Buddha is that figure, the radiant shining, you know, the kind of the enlightened figure. The Buddha only continue, you know, by his Sangha, by his Dhamma. You can touch Buddha in the here and now. So I want to comment something on these Buddhas, but if you look at the Pali grammar, Pali words of the Buddha, it is an adjective describing someone who has already attained enlightenment. It means that he is enlightened one. So like you and I, you know, one day if we cultivate like this, you know, one day we will become the Buddha. We will become the enlightened one. You see? So this Buddha will never die. You see? So don't misinterpret, misquote I'm saying. Yeah? So because I want to say this Buddha is not that figure, a radiant figure. But every one of us also can be the Buddha if you look at it like this. You understand what I'm saying? So Buddha is a past, if you know the grammar, is a past passive participle describing someone who has already who has attained the enlightened. You see? So one who has enlightened is the Buddha. So you and I also can be the Buddha. You see? Someone asked me, in Theravada, do you have the concept of Buddha? And of course I have to be very careful when I explain this, because in the Mahayana conception, what they say is, you see, we all aspire to become the Buddha. That's why, you know, we have to cultivate the, what they call the Bodhisattva's path. And then how do we know whether you have the aspiration to become the Buddhas? That is because, you know, you have the bodhicitta. They are talking about the mind of body, the enlightenment mind. You see? So that is your path. That is your destinies. My destiny is to get enlightenment. Yeah? So the moment when you aspired, to pursue this path, you planted the seed of bodhicitta. Not bodhicitta, bodhicitta. ผู้ไทยซ้ำ ผู้ไทยซ้ำ So through the cultivation or repeated cultivation over a period of time, Mahayana talking about a long period of time, talking about several hundreds of kalpas. Okay, that long periods of time, to perfect your paramitas, you understand the paramitas? Okay, it means that we have to come back to the word and continue the practice of the paramitas until you become the Buddha. Okay, until you become the Buddhas. But in Theravada, of course, for us, that Buddhahood is not our aspiration, right? But we do have the understanding of Buddha in our mind. The understanding of Buddha in our mind, that Buddha is not to become that Buddha, but is to get the enlightenment. So that enlightenment experience, okay, is also the Buddha. You understand what I'm saying? So someone asked me, hey, in Theravada, do we have the conception of Buddha? Then I have to ponder for a while. I said, be careful. We are not to become the Buddha, shining radiance like that. But we try to get enlightenment, you see, by following, the path, through the Arahat. Arahat is also the enlightened person. So Arahat is also the enlightened person, is also Buddha in that sense. Okay? So we can touch the Buddha in the here and now. Yeah, so I like this. It's very poetic in the Thich Nhat Hanh's message. And of course, I don't know whether you know the artist. You don't know, yeah? Artist. I think he's a very famous figure, in around 10th, 11th century, right? I think he is a Bangladesh, because a lot of Bangladesh monks, you see, study with us, and they said the artist was Bengal. He is Bengali. Bangala, it means the northern India, in the regions of in the regions of Bangladesh. And then he has, beautiful passages on the contemplation of that. So I think it's also worth to share with you, right? His contemplation of that. He said, death is inevitable. 死是自然是必然的. It means that everyone will encounter, face. No one can escape from it. Yeah, I'm trying to make elaboration, because if you look at the sutta itself, it's a bit boring. So I try to, quote from other passages. And our lifespan is decreasing continuously. It means that, the moment when you're born, you are facing death. So it's quite fair. It's quite fair. So we have to be positive. And we have to admit, of course, it's due to the body, decaying. But we have this mind. So we cultivate the mind. So we have another hope. So the death will come whether or not we are prepared for it. Definitely. Whether you prepare or not, is that the death will come one day. The Chinese, there is this, the Chinese emperor called, Chinese emperor, 秦始皇啊 Oh, like that Xi Guangyin Guanyin not 秦始皇 咩？ 秦始皇 same Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I thought English is also 秦希望. But it's okay. You see, he asked people to find the medicine, then you know the story, huh? But he also failed. Yeah? So, however, he will face death. And the human life expectancy is uncertain. Yeah? And there are many causes of death. And the human body is fragile and vulnerable. Then at the times of death, our material resources are not of use to us. You see the body. I'm talking about the body. And our beloved ones cannot keep us from death. Our own body also cannot have us at the time of our death. So I think these are the, what I call, the wisdom, the spiritual wisdom that needed our, repeated investigation. You see, then only through this we can overcome the fear of death, right? So now I want to talk about the meditation, yeah. And in our Theravada, types of meditation, yeah, especially in the Visuddhimagga, Buddha Kosha highlighted, I think, about 40 types of meditation, yeah, 38, 40 or more, depending. So no need to be so rigid with the numbers. And he also said, in one of these meditation, there is this mindfulness of death. This is one of the very important practice, especially if you look at the 4 types of protection, Chaturrakha, 4 types of meditation. Here, these 4 types of meditation, meditators are encouraged to practice reflecting on the 4 protection which are said to support the deepening of meditation practice. Yeah, these 4 types of meditation, I think you all know. Yeah, 4 meditative guardian kind of meditation. And then I think, and these 4 types of meditations differ from the Anapanasati. You know why? Because these 4 types of meditation requires a lot of chanting, a lot of contemplative, a lot of contemplation. And these contemplations are in their suttas or verses. So it means that we have to recite these verses, right? And because of this, and there are these two aspects of practices. One is through chanting, right? And another one is through contemplation. It means that you have to contemplate the meaning. You see, contemplate the meaning. So you look at these four types of guardian. You see, it requires our chanting as well as to understand the meaning. Yeah? Unlike in the Anapanasati, you just only need to focus on your breathing in and out, right? So this in and out, Anapana, you see, become the strong subject of our meditation. Whereas in these 4 guardians, you see, it requires our contemplation. And the meditation of that is one of the contemplation. And it is said that, through these 4 types of concentration, 4 types of, protection, it can deepen our meditation. So probably, someone asked me, Bhante, shall we practice this before or after? Then I said, you also can, for a beginner, I would say that practice before. And if you are an advanced practitioner, you practice after. Okay, it means that after coming out of meditation, then you focus on these things, is so strong. But if it is for a beginner, probably good for you to do the protection meditation, guardian meditation, because it requires chanting. You see, during the Buddha's time or after, you see, sanghas are trained to recite the suttas. You see, I think in one of my lectures, not my lecture, one of my talk, I'm talking about the chanting. Yeah, that resonance is very important. Yeah, and I think Sekyayan famous for chanting. Yeah, why you laugh? Indeed, no? Indeed, yeah, indeed. So when we talk about the chanting, you see, I mean that is true observation. If you look at the Chinese people, because they cannot chant the Pali, those in the this, then they try to transliterate in Chinese. You understand what I'm saying when I use the word transliteration, like Namo Tassa Bhagavato. I mean these are the Pali word, but when you chant in Chinese, they will use the word very similar to this, like Namo Tassa Bhagavato, but they have no feeling. You see, but you chant directly from this proper guidance, then you can feel it. Feel what? You feel the kind of the vibration of the chanting. You see, so each syllable carry certain words. Okay, like Bodang, like that, this kind of. But it is in Chinese like Bodang, Salanang, Gachami, like that kind of, then you lost that essence of it, the weight of it. Then when you chant like that, it doesn't bring that impact on you. You see, it's just like parrot. You train parrot to chant, and the parrot will chant. You see, to sing something like that. But and someone asked, you see, do we have the mantra in Theravada Buddhism? Yeah, definitely we don't have. But you look at Thailand, Cambodia, you see, I don't understand why they use the word mantra, because they don't really chant mantra, but they said that this kind of chanting is also mantra. I have friends, you see, those very senior monks in Bangladesh. I asked him, I never heard of mantra in Theravada Buddhism. Mantra, only used in the Mahayana Buddhism. Yeah, they said that no. You see, they said that there are certain phrases. I mean, in their tradition, of course, like in the Cambodia, you see, Buddhism has mixed with the local, culture, and they have evolved a lot of mantras. And what is the use of this mantra? They said that when you are not stable, or when you are encounter certain spirits, then probably reciting this mantra can get rid of those evil power. They don't say reciting sutta, they said recite the mantra. Then again I said, why they use the word mantra, not reciting the Itipiso, like we chant the Buddha Anusati, this kind of thing. Why they use the word mantra? Then later I realized their understanding of mantra is not the way the Mahayanas understanding of mantra. They understand of mantra simply, to overcome that kind of fear. Say for example, through the chanting, they're uplifting, the power of mind. When we say that we live in fear, that is because our level of energy is low, and you have no direction. Now with this mantra, your direction is very clear. Now I fine-tune your energy, to the highest level, so that you can, ward off all your evil spirits. And that also makes sense, That is also makes sense. So it means that the understanding of mantra is not like, you recite this, like in the Mahayana, every mantra they have their, different function. You see, that's why, Theravada has rejection to the mantra. But you look at the Theravada country, in this traditional country, they use a similar word mantra, but to uplift the power of mind. Because reciting this mantra or recite this for protection, it's just simply want to uplift the mind. When your mind is not ready for your breathing in and out, probably some of these sutras may help you. Uplifting your mind. When your mind becomes stable, strong, then it's easier, for your breathing in and out. So that is what I say. Here it says is a rakas, is a chaturaka, is the four protection. Okay, so this for protection is not to protect, from the evil, haunted or whatever, evil spirits. No, yeah, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that, because our mind is so much corruption there. So much of what they call the greed, so much of the anger, so much of delusion, so much of fear, so much of ignorance, not seeing things. So our energy level is very low. So through this for protection, uplifting, say like facing the death also. So if we don't prepare ourselves, then we try to refrain from it. You see, don't want to see it, try to avoid it. But if we are prepared for it, then we are very happily, accept whatever, things happen. You see, even the departure of the closest family members. Yeah. So now we look at this for protection. You have the contemplation of the qualities of the Buddhas. Yeah. You know this lah, huh? You see, like in Chinese, we say the nian fo, you see, lim fat. But you look at the Mahayana, they say the lim fat mean lim omi to fat lah, nian omi to fo ha. But if you ask them what is omi to fo, I don't think they understand the omi to fo lah. What they understood, you see, the omi to fo is the one there, standing far there, radiate, and with the two attendants, one is our Lokiteshvara, another one is Dashitsa Pusa, accompany the Bodhisattvas. But I think that kind of recitation on the Amitabha is not that true. You see, we should recite the meaning or the qualities of the Amitabha. That is of Amitayus or Amitabha, infinite life and infinite like. You see? So contemplating on these two, yeah? So, but we Chinese usually don't understand it. They're only asking Amitabha, 我死咗之後你要教我啊，帶我去西方淨土嚇，嗰度咧我就可以聽嗰啲雀仔念經啊，嗰度我想念食乜就食乜咁樣，哇幾開心啊！哇 I don't know if you understand or not. I'm dreaming. This is what I'm expecting from the Amitabha. If you don't understand this, I think you live in fear. Because when your dreams are not come true, what happened? You collapse immediately, isn't it? And you live in fear because I don't know whether my understanding is correct or not. So, but if you look at the Theravada, the contemplation on the qualities of the Buddha, there is to contemplate the qualities of the different epithets of the Buddhas. Like he is the Sammasambuddho, he is Arahang, you see, he is a Lokavidu, Anuttara-purisa, Dhammasarati, etc., etc. You see? So you are contemplating, each of the qualities of the Buddhas. So like this, you see, it can strengthen our faith, right? Then the practice of loving kindness is also very important. You see, there are, you are not dreaming there. 願我心中冇仇怨. No, I mean, I'm there are verses, the phrases that you need to recite. You see, you need to recite. Ahang avero homi, like that, abhyapajo homi, anigo homi, all right, sukiyatana pariharami, this kind of phrases, this kind of the verses. You recite it, all right. While reciting it, you contemplate the meaning as if you are radiating, the kind of metta extensively. You see? So, of course, this is to overcome the anger. And then you also have another one, contemplating, the repulsiveness of the body. This is to calm down the desire. When you talk about this repulsiveness of the body, what is this? Asubha bhavana, right? And then another one, contemplation of death. This is also a very important subject of cultivation. So now I want to share with you, you see, on the death awareness practice by this Larry Rosenberg. And this one is quoted from the book Living in the Light of Death, published by the Shambhala. Then he offered the following death awareness practice. I think this is also quite relevant in our Buddhist practice. He talked about the awareness of the inevitability of death. Okay? For example, contemplating that everyone will die. No, will die, must die. Right? And then reflecting that our lifespan is decreasing continuously, and reflecting that the time for developing our mind is very small. So, in this book, right, what Larry said is that to practice, this reflection, you can take any one of this, right? Anyone, say like 20 minutes to half an hour, a day, and right after calming down your mind. So every day, either in the morning or evening, right, you can focus on, say like, everyone will die, and you are contemplating, each phrase, or contemplating that everyone must die. You contemplate its meaning, its implication, and the value. Right? So you do like this. I will die one day. So like say in the Visuddhimagga, right? He said every night before you go to bed, you can say, I will die. I will die. Marna. No one can escape from death. This is not to discourage you, but I think this is something very worth to look into it. You see? Especially the following day when you wake up, rebirth again. Isn't it? Especially at night when you go back, and go back. Before you die, you were very tired now. So you can, contemplate this meaning. Don't worry, I will die. So things that if I wake up the following day, you see, you should have so much gratitude. And then you contemplate like that. And I remember, Bhante Mahinda, when I was young, I was with him, following him for some time, and he teaches us, he taught us, before you sleep, contemplate on death. And I find it very useful, so you have prepared yourself to death. So then you don't fear of death. I think this is a very powerful contemplation. And then awareness at the time of death. And you are reflecting that human life expectancy is uncertain, reflecting that there are many causes of death, reflecting that the human body is so fragile, indeed, very fragile. You see, the haze, calm. You see, we felt so much uneasy. Yeah? You see, our body is so fragile. If our mind is not trained enough, this fragile body may cause the sickness of the mind. Yeah? Then very good. And in this suttas also talk about lived by the Dhamma. Right? Talking about the acquiring the meritorious deeds. So in this part, there is no mention of no specifying of the types of the meritorious deeds. But here I wish to quote the very famous 10 meritorious deeds, as a supplement, by the live by the Dhamma. And here, when talking about live by the Dhamma, here we talk about the Dhamma. We talk about 3 types of, the 3 graduate steps, right? For lay people, right? Especially, the first 2, Dana and Sila, right? And of course, the Bhavana here generally understood as a meditation, but I think I wish to make a remark. This Bhavana not necessarily referring to the meditation. Of course, meditation is a very important aspect of Bhavana, but this Bhavana also means something that we do it repeatedly. You see? So that, our, so that our insight, talking about the insight, will come out, will comes to be. Alright? So we have so much of greed, anger, and delusion. Alright? Our mind is covered by this. So through the repeated practice, you to bring out the goodness, you see, the wisdom in us. You see? So this bhavana not necessarily refer to meditation, right? So now we look at this dana sila bhavana. I think it's also worth looking into it, and these things we have to be reminded. Yeah, like in the Theravada country, their way of doing dana is not just only once a year, not for show. It's really, go there and cultivate. You see. So this dana talking about the charity, and also you have the sharing of merits and the rejoice in other merits. It's also considered part of dana. Yeah. So sharing of merits, sharing of merits. And for example, patidana. You see, in Theravada practice. Particularly in the Mahayana, you look at the Mahayana, they have this Chautua, Chiudo concept. It means that by reciting certain suttas, your departed relatives, will get liberated, something like that. Sometimes I ask myself, is it so powerful? Doing that chanting will bring out that person in the hell, to bring up to the heaven. I don't know. Probably someone can enlighten me, but in Theravadas, we are not talking about, bringing up that person in the hell, to the heaven. No, we are, we are sharing the merits. Sharing merit. But this sharing of merits only share with the hungry ghost. Not to the, beings born in the, the predators. You see? So we transfer the merit. That's why in the Theravada, probably after lunch, we will say, Idang me nyati nang hotu, sukita hontu nyatayo. Isn't it? So to transfer the merits to the departed ones, departed relatives, may they be well and happy. You see? So when this departed, the relative, who are fortunate, born in these realms, you see? So they have that capability to receive that blessing, and they rejoice. You rejoice with them, and they're happy. Once they are happy, then they will, reborn. That's all. You see? So we are talking about sharing a marriage with them, not through certain suttas or so powerful suttas immediately uplifting you from the hell to the heaven. I don't know. Probably you tell me how. Okay, but definitely this is not the teachings of the Buddhas, because we are the heir of our own karma. You see, so and we have to understand this teaching. All right, and of course, what we can do, to share the marriage with them. Hopefully they rejoice over the marriage that we have done. And of course, these people, unfortunate, reborn in those places, they are in need of the marriage. You see, and of course, then another one, rejoice. This is a practice of joys, because so much good, we have accumulated. We want to share with many people. It's just like nowadays, Facebook, all right? And you want to take the photo, and then you want to upload to the Facebook so that everyone, in your group, your friends, can watch, and they will like it, and then you feel very, very happy, And then every now and then you look at how many like there. I don't know. I think this is not a very healthy trend. Not a very healthy trend. We are crazy for the number of likes there. When your friends not like you, then I want to unfriend you. Yeah, it's very funny nowadays, the social media, it's such a very sharp, demarcation, distinction, between friend and unfriend. Yeah. So, but anyway, originally is, this is a very good platform to share, but somehow in the later time, it becomes very funny, very strange. We crave for it. This is a source of full of anger and full of greed and full of ignorance. So I don't know. I think now Facebook you can disable the like and dislike, so we don't want to see how many likes. Otherwise you also feel hurt, when you post this one, why no one like me, and you feel hurt. So it's not a very healthy trend. And so this is come under the category of dana, right? So sharing, giving, that kind of thing. And the sila also. You see, of course, besides the morality, we're also talking about paying respect. You see, and providing service, for those in need of help, right? So this is also fall under the category of sila. And what is the meaning of sila? Besides morality, this is also a way of cultivating the compassion, the altruistics, what they call the aspect of the mind. We want to help people. Altruistic, like the kind of concept of the compassion, Yeah, mudita. You see, so this is also fall under the category of sila, because when we observe the sila, we don't want other people to attack us. We want to protect ourselves, right? And at the same time, also we want to protect others as well. You see, so this is fall under the category. And then another one, bhavana, we look at beside meditation, like listening to the dhammas, teachings the dhammas, and the strengthening one's views is also very important. I think I will highlight a little bit on the strengthening of one's views, because our Buddhist practice talk about the right view, right? Right view. The reason why we are you see, we don't see things as they are is because of the wrong view. True cultivation of vipassana, you see things as they are, that is to strengthen our proper view, right? And of course, if you look at all these views, all these views arises because of the attachment to the self, right? So that makes a difference between the worldling and the Arya disciples, right? So they also come under the second part of it. Yeah? The second part is very easy. So if you look at these views, what What you can think of? Huh? Beside the self view, right? Beside the self view, you know the self view, attachment to the self, and that self is something that of permanent, eternal, right? And because of this self view, all right, it also arises another view, that is the extreme view. All right, extreme view. It means that there is the belief of the permanent self, right? And you see, all these views come because of the self. And because of this self also, there comes also another view, I think is also worth looking into it. That is the view of the attachment or the adherence to the certain vows and practice. You understand what I'm saying? This is in Pali, it's called Silabbata Paramasa Ditti. It means that it is a view of adherence to the sila. Sila means certain forms of practice, certain forms of precepts, as well as the adherence, certain forms of the vows, certain forms of. For example, in Buddhism we talk about the 5 precepts. That's perfectly all right. But you look at the ancient India, those ancient those heretics, those sage, they also observe certain forms of sila. But their sila is not pancha sila. The sila is imitating, the dog. Imitating what they call the cow. You know why? By believing, by observing this kind of precept, you see, they want to go to the heaven. I don't know why. Imitating the cow eating grass, then they will go to heaven. You see? But our Buddhist forms of sila, our Buddhist forms of paying respect, is not going to the heaven. That is not the ultimate place to go. A lot of people said, you see, you pay respect to the Bodhi tree, that is attachment to the rites and ritual, because we perform rite and ritual, isn't it? Someone asked me. I said that one is not fall under the Silabbata Paramasa. It's completely 2 different things. You see? Our paying respect, to the Bodhi tree signifying the enlightenment. You see? We offer fruits, we offer flowers, and there is this behind of offering. You see, by offering the flowers, we see the impermanent. There is a kind of contemplation. You see, today the flower is so beautiful. You see, tomorrow all these flowers faded. So remind us of the impermanent. You see, and remind us of the constant practice. You see, and offering of the candle also. Offering this candle is not go to the heaven. Offering candles is to brighten our mind, to get rid of all this darkness. You see, so we have this meaning, the meaning behind. You see, for us to contemplate upon, not to ask the Buddha. Okay, I'll offer you this. You have to give me protection. You have to protect me, my children, my son, my grandson, my granddaughter. And not only that, I have many. You remember I offer you the 2 apple, 2 orange. You have to take care of my whole family. And not only my whole family, my own ancestors. You see, you have so much greed. So this is fall under very wrong view, you see. But the Buddhist practice of this is not under this Silabbata. That's why people misunderstood the word Silabbata as the attachment to the rites and rituals. Are 2 different things. Okay? And also, this offering to the Buddhas is not the path to the heaven, isn't it? It's not the path. It's not the path to the heaven. This is just part of our. This is just only one aspect, of our cultivation to strengthen our faith, to increase our saddha. You see, We pay respect to the Buddhas, not blindly. Asking something in return. Oh, Buddha. Oh, not like that. You see. So that's why. Yeah, I have. And then there is also another one, because of this attachment to these certain precepts and vows. There is also for another adherent also arises. What is this adherent of the view? Ditti paramasa. I don't know whether you heard of this. Ditti paramasa ditti. It means that it is a view adherent to the view. You see, because of this adherent of the view adherent to the view, What is this view? Especially among our Buddhists, Buddhists will say that, oh, my practice, my path is superior than others. My path is the best. Of course, this one won't happen in Theravada. Our Theravada is so calm, you see. But you look at the Tibetan and the Mahayana, they will say that, oh, my mantra is very powerful, and my mantra is the most powerful of all the mantra. You need not to recite other mantra. You just only need to recite this mantra. And then some of these, when a few years back, I have devotees, because they can easily get this information, you see, then they sent to me, and wow, the devotees, very funny. He said, Bhante, you don't need to teach people meditation, because now I discovered something more powerful than meditation. They said, Jesus only need to recite this mantra that helps you to overcome all your problems, and not only that, you will attain Nibbana. Oh my goodness, I said, mana ada ini. If you said like that, I think we can negate the Buddha, because Buddha no need to spend 45 years. Buddha, if your mantra is powerful enough, the Buddha only need to teach that mantra, good enough. Isn't it? So you see, our people are the view also deluded. But nowadays, this kind of news are less circulated. Those say, well, when everybody want to be smart, or discover something new, want to share with everybody. Nowadays, don't share any of this to me, okay? I believe in this practice, okay? That really come, from your hard work. Not the easy path. Meditation is a hard path. It's a difficult path. Okay? Yeah. Why? Okay, I agree. Yeah, talking about these views adherent to the view. What is this view? Because you have this attachment to this view is the best of all the view, then you fall under this category. Yeah, there's a lot of criticism, a lot of disagreement. Nowadays we are talking about a lot of fighting over which one is the best. Nowadays, people said that in the Third World War, not because of fighting, because of our ideology. My God is the best. My God is the real. Your God is palsu. Your God is not real. My God is the real. You see, because of the belief in the God now, which one is real or not real, becomes the what do you call it, the source of fighting. The origin, the problems arises. You agree with me? Very much, So, not easy. Even among Buddhists also, my practice is the best, or my teacher is the best. Isn't it? So, don't practice that. Don't have that view, okay? It's very scary. Okay? So, we associate with the Sanghas, you see. It is a word slang like, associate with the wise. You see? We don't differentiate, this is the best, this is not the best, this is the best, this is the second, this is the third. Don't differentiate like that. So, alright, talking too much. Okay, so the first part finished. So that is about the subject on the death and dying. Right. So no one can escape from it. So we had to face the reality of that. And the death is just only transformation. It's not the end of it. It continues. That's why if we do good, it continues. So our next life, if we do the wholesome action now, all right, our next life, we'll reap the good consequences. So we have to have believed in the karma and the fruition, the pala. Whatever we do now will have effect in the life after, in the next moment, in the future, or life after next. Okay. So these are the cultivation, right? For protection, you see. So they serve as a guidance, paving way for us to go to the deeper meditation. So we are prepared enough, to face the death. And of course, the opposite side, the optimistic side, to make us happy. So one day when you grow old, it's okay, don't worry. I'm very happy. I'm preparing myself. But if my body is still here, I enjoy my life every now and then. I enjoy doing good. I use the word enjoy is because I like to do wholesome action. And there is no excuse for me, oh, my body is decayed now, I should stay at home. There is no excuse. If your body is still healthy, do as much as possible. The dana, and cultivate the wholesome mind. So we are preparing ourselves. Okay, so this part finished. Right, now we come to the second part. Right, and the second part, nothing special, but can you look at your suttas? The second part, I think the first sutta is the dot, is it? Or painful feeling. Well, I just only quote one part of it. So we can read together. Please, shall we read together this part? So we are talking about the three roots of three unwholesome roots. Okay, three unwholesome roots. They are greed, hatred, and ignorance. All right. So by cultivating the Vedana, Anupassana, the contemplating on the feeling, right? So when we talk about the feeling, here is talk about the three types of feeling, or five types of feeling. There is this pleasant feeling, and there is this unpleasant feeling, and then there is this neutral feeling, right? So if you look at this feeling, of this good feeling, there arises what? Arises the greed, the lust. You see, if not knowing it, you see, then the greed arises. And if the unpleasant feeling arises, we can see anger arises. When the neutral feeling arises, we can see the kind of ignorance arises. We are talking about the three unwholesome roots of our defilement. All this defilement arises because of these three roots of defilements. Alright? They are greed, anger, and delusion. They are the kilesa mula. They are the root of kilesa. They are root of defilements. You see? So through the cultivation on the feeling, I think, we can get rid of it. Alright? And particularly the middle one, I think is of significance. Right? So, you know what is an uninstructed worthling? Fan phu. Pali is called putujana. Sanskrit means putujana. So, if he feels a pleasant feeling, he feels it attached. If he feels a painful feeling, he feels it attached. If he feels a neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he feels it attached. This monk is called an uninstructed worthling who is attached to birth, aging, and death, who is attached to sorrow, lamentation, pain, etc., etc. Okay lah, so we learn to be aware. Of course, sometimes we attach to it, but we remind ourselves, stop for a while, cultivate for a while. We try to get rid of it. Especially we look at this greed, anger, and delusion. You see, these three roots of defilements, we can call them as our habitual tendency. Chinese we call 習氣啊，習氣. And these habitual tendencies, carry from life to life, from the past, from many past life. And that's why, who we are, and because of our past habitual tendency. Alright? So through the cultivation of the meditation, right? We are getting rid, not getting rid, we are diminuting, what do you call, what do you call diminuting? We are reducing. We are reducing our greed. We are reducing our anger. We are reducing our ignorance. I think this is the purpose of meditation, isn't it? First of all, we have to admit that we have a lot of anger. We have a lot of desire. You see? And of course, a lot of ignorance. Right? We have to admit that. Right? But that meditation, okay, make us aware of the great anger and delusion. When the anger rises in us, right? At least we know why we get anger. You see, we have to understand the origin of anger. Why we have this anger, and then thinking so, you see, try way out to escape from the anger, etc., etc. So at least we can pause for a while. You see, find a remedy out, to get rid of this anger. Is otherwise, that make the difference between one we practice and one without a practice. One without practice will, we're led by the anger. But one we practice like us, we can stop for a while. No. We have to cut down. We have to slow down. We have to find way to escape from it. You see? So like that, through our practice, you see, we're slowly getting rid of this anger or whatever it is, that deeply rooted in our mind, that carry on from life to life. Understand? And also we will come into another sutta that is talking about the vicissitudes, isn't it? One of the suttas, talking about this. It comes under this four pair, four opposing pair, and of course we make the world turning around. Yeah. So our world become interesting because of these vicissitudes of life. You had gain, loss, fame, repute, praise and blame, pleasure and pain. So what is the types of attitude of one whose mind unperturbed and whose mind is perturbed? Now we look at this part. Here the uninstructed worthling versus instructed noble disciple. They also come under the same suttas. Here it says, when an uninstructed worldling monk comes upon gain, he does not reflect on it thus. This gain that has come to me is impermanent, bound up with suffering, subject to change. He does not know it as it really is. This is uninstructed worldling, foolish people like us. Right? Because we don't understand it's impermanent. So he does not understand, the impermanence of it, right? So he attached to it. So this is what we generally foolish people would think. So that's why the problems come, the dukkha comes. Then how about the one with a noble disciple? Then he reflected thus. He said, the gain that has come to me is impermanent. He recollect, and bound up with suffering. It's subject to change. Nothing stay. So then he reflect when the loss and so forth that comes upon him, he understand all these things. Eventually, arise and falling away. You see, so he understand its nature. So it makes the difference. So these few suttas only talk about this. So that comes under the vipassana training. You see, so people say vipassana has to be in the vipassana in the meditation. No, vipassana that you have to come out from meditation. You see, say for example, after when your mind is strong enough, right, fine balanced, right, strong enough, then you will start, contemplating, the phenomena of the world. You see, so you don't get attached to it because you understand what underlying, you see, is of the subject of change. So you don't get attached to it, It's all like this in your practice. So you will start, letting go. So one day when that thing change, decay, you feel okay, isn't it? So that is your training. That is your vipassana training. Okay. So one day or another, when your vipassana's insight is strong enough, like I usually said, when you fall down, get your bone fractured, but you enlighten. Isn't it? That could be the kind of scenario, because you're experiencing, we can never stay good. Sometimes we fall down, we fall sick, or sometimes our bone got fractured. That is also another good aspect of it, because you detach from it, because the impermanent. You see, in the suttas, we also discovered, some of the Buddha's disciples, you see, they attain enlightenment at the moment of their death. They're enlightened, isn't it? So that's interesting. 不要想到说永远都是好的，那种觉悟可能就是当你跌下去，你倒下去，或者你在死亡的前一刻，你觉悟了，你看到了，你看到了。你看到别人看不到的东西，那些人家看不到的，他们是愚蠢的。你看到了，因为你真的看到了。看到什么呢？你看到 impermanent， 看到了无常。It's good, no? So don't be so negative. So we look at it in a very positive way. So that is the insight. This is the wisdom. 你看到了别人看不到的东西，人家怕死，你说你不怕死，因为你看到了，你看到了死亡的真相。I mean, I add Chinese because that makes sense. But I hope you understand, huh? Oh, you understand now? Oh, very good. Okay. Yeah, I think in the Mangala Suttas there is this Buddhasa loka dhamme hichitang yasana kampati asokang virajang kema etang mangala muttamang. When faced with the vicissitudes of life, one's mind is unshaken, sorrowless, stainless, secure. So whatever things, laws or these vicissitudes, turning around the world, our mind remains stable. So this is the highest blessing. So stay a while. And then there is the last sutta is talking about the anxiety due to change. No? And then here I look at the sutta, it talk about two. One is agitation through clinging. Another one is non-agitation through non-clinging. It's also quite easy to understand. Yeah. It means that uninstructed worldling, foolish people like us, we will grasp the five aggregates, right, as self, or the self-possessing form, or form as in the self, or the self as in the form, right? If you cling to this, then your mind become obsessed, is frightened, distressed, and anxious, and through this clinging he become agitated. I mean, I make it short lah. So anyway, this is a very good lesson for us. You want to change your anxiety, then we have to practice non-clinging, non-attachment, detached. We learn how to detach. That's why detach, and you become monks and nuns. Okay, no? Cannot. So much attachment to life. Okay, I understand. Don't worry, it takes time. So we usually, make a vow in front of the Buddhas. If we don't do it this life, it's okay. We continue next life. There is an excuse, but at least better than none. Okay, now there is also anxiety due to change. There is non-agitation through non-self. So the Buddha says the source of problems comes because of not seeing this body is a composition of the five aggregates. If we understand this body is a composition of five aggregates, there is this aggregates. Because of these five aggregates that comes together, there is this so-called person exists, right? But this person is nothing permanent. It's just like the chariot, the car. The car is made of the different spare parts, put together. Then the car exists, right? So imagine if you have all these spare parts removed, and then the car exists or not? It's normal there. So similarly, our body is a composition, right? The so-called the material body, right? It's a composition of these 32 parts talking about the parts or the five aggregate. If we split these 32 parts of the five aggregate, is that the body or the person still exists? It's normal exists. So in our cultivation of vipassana, insight meditation, we practice seeing the non-self in this, the non-self. And we have to understand that because of this self, we attached. You see? So if we know, it's the body is just a composition of this five aggregate, we learn to detach. It's okay. If our body will die one day, it's okay. There is the disintegration of the body, it's okay. But more important is our mind. We train our mind. You see? We train our mind. So when our mind is strong enough, you see, we can solve all the problems until we get enlightened. Okay? So we prepared to strengthen our mind, to prepare, to to boost up the mind to the highest degree as possible, so that we can see things as they are. So this is what our Buddha's teaching, talking about the purification of the mind. Yeah, doing good lah, avoid evil. These are just at the very preliminary level. Anyway, I think the today's Sutta reading, we come to this part, and we will continue next week, right? And sometimes I look at these suttas, you see, they are fairly easy. So sometimes I don't know what to talk. So sometimes I will talk something else. I hope you don't mind, yeah? And of course, it's very good to look at the suttas, because the sutta is our guidance, right? So that we don't deviate, from the Buddha's teaching. And sometimes when we talk too much, we will go a little bit far from the Buddha's teaching. So we have to remain, faithful, to the Buddha's teaching. And of course, in the suttas, a lot of repetitions here and there, right? Yeah. So we have to find way, how to, to make these suttas, more interesting. Okay, so good night. Oh, you have any question? Because tomorrow morning I have to wake up early. I have to go to the Sabah. There is this educare. That's why our Bhante come and accompany me tonight. So we will leave from, from Malacca early morning to airport. We will be there for 6 days. Not long. Within our 1 week vasa. And next Friday we have another topic. Yeah, what is the topic? We'll continue, is it? Okay, don't worry. So I hope you have all the notes. I try to prepare notes like this, so that you can have a glance at it, and when we come here together, we can, at least you know what I want to say. Yeah. This is about the suttas reading. Yeah. Okay, so if there is no any other questions, so we can, share the merits. Yeah? Akasata cha Bhummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyang Tang Anumoditwa Chirarakandu Buddha Sasanang Akasata cha Bhummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyang Tang Anumoditwa Chirang Rakantu Desanang Akasata cha Bhummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyang Tang Anumoditwa Chirang Rakantu Mang Parangti Etawata cha amhehi Sampadang punya sampadang Sabbe deva Sabbe Buddha Sabbe satta anumodantu Sabba sangpati siddhiyam Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu